Hey there, I'm really excited to announce a partnership with Andre, who is the owner of Texting Betty. I've partnered with him to provide you texting drips. So, Texting Betty is the name of the service that allows you to drip text via Action Plan. If you haven't already, I recommend doing a demo with Andre so you can fully understand how that system works. Essentially, you would have an action plan that has steps in place to add a note, and the text strips I give you will do that for you for your new leads, people coming back to your website. I'll go through that list in a second. But basically the way it works is when you put in a note in the action plan, Texting Betty takes that and turns it into an automated text message. So I've rewritten the content I've previously created for the revamp and made it to also work for text messages. That way you have the email drip and follow-up boss via the action plan, plus now the ability to drip text and follow boss. So for example, if you set business hours and you don't want a text message to go out overnight if you receive an online lead, I default to make the first text message say scheduled, meaning it's during your scheduled business hours. It's when it will send this first text message, and it works with the merge fields. And then follow boss or Texting Betty will convert this into a text message. So for example, I'm showing in my account, so it'll look a little bit differently, but it would show the text messages as they're coming out from Texting Betty or Get Keys. And because of laws and regulations, there does need to be an introductory text message letting the lead know that it's coming from you, and they can reply with stop. But essentially the text message that was written via note is now converted into a text like this. And what's nice is you can find all of these text replies via a smart list that if you don't already have it, we would give you. It's called a AI text replies that shows people who have responded to text strips. Plus, you'll see them in your inbox. But again, if you haven't done a demo, I'm probably not doing a very good job of explaining the functionality of Texting Betty, so definitely schedule a demo with Andre. These text messages are not sent from your follow boss number, they're sent from a different phone number. However, if someone did call that number, it does forward to your follow boss number. So with that said, there are various action plans in here. For new leads, there's a new buyer lead plan for referral leads, such as Homelight, Dave Ramsey, Referral Exchange or Agent Machine, Agent Pronto, Effective Agents, that type of lead source, My Agent Finder. There's a general new buyer lead action plan for leads online from like Google or Facebook. And then there's one specifically for YLOPO users. And then open house leads. If you work with renters, there's a plan for that. New seller lead, a new Z buyer seller lead, new Zillow Realtor Trulia. So those are the new lead plans. And then there's some other ones as well. There's a stale action plan for old leads never reached, or people who have ghosted you. There's a back to website action plan for people who return back to your website, similar to the back to website automation. Oh, and I missed this one, branded website for leads coming in from your website provider for general inquiries and new home valuation inquiry. If you use HomeBot, or Andre has also created a HomeBot alternative called Home Equity Report that has a direct integration. When someone views that HomeBot digest or views that Home Equity Report, a tag gets added to the lead's profile, so we'll be able to trigger an action plan for that as well. As soon as the lead responds to any of the text messages, these text drips will pause. That way a text drip does not continue and there's a disconnect. And if you do a demo with Andre, he'll explain how they go into your inbox and how to respond to the lead. These action plans vary in length. To give you an example, the new buyer lead plan lasts a little over a year long for text drips, and they do get further and further spread out, just like the email drip. That way you're not texting too often and don't hurt your phone number by doing that. But Andre has other things in place to make sure you don't ruin your phone number in Twilio. The way it works is both the email action plan and the text action plan would work at the same time. And if the lead responds to one from what we've done through testing, then both action plans will pause. So if a lead responded to the new buyer lead plan that has emails, then Texting Betty would also pause. And that the reason for that is we don't want text messages to send out saying, "Hi, is this Elena? I still haven't heard from you," because that will be a disconnect if the lead has already responded. As I'm talking, I'll show you some examples of what the text messages say. You can read through them by pausing the video as I'm talking, but I won't be pausing the video to read through them. The foundation of these action plans is they use the philosophy of Phil Jones. If you haven't heard of Phil Jones, I highly recommend reading all of his books. Start out with the ones that are named Exactly What to Say, and then Exactly What to Say for Real Estate Agents, and Exactly What to Sell. He also has a great audio recording on Audible that he goes over a live mastermind and training course where he shares ideas for ways to sell, and it's not specific to real estate, but you can certainly gear it towards your own business. I have found it very helpful, not only for helping agents, but also for myself and my own business. Here are just some other examples from New Zillow Realtor Trulia. If you want to take time to read them, please pause the video. All of these text messages are plug and play, but they are intended to be used as they come. Here's a stale action plan. The goal of these text messages is to keep them as short as possible. I've found that the shorter the text or the email, the higher the response rate. The longer they get, the less likely the lead will read it or respond, and more likely you will get spammed. So trying to avoid lots of information about you and what you offer the client. That will be later on once they become a nurture. The goal of these plans is to start a conversation with the lead, but not give them a bunch of unique selling propositions of why someone should buy a house or sell a house with you, or your whole marketing plan. Goal is to get the conversation flowing. Here's a couple other examples from Back to a Website. So hopefully this will give you an idea of what these sound. These are plug and play, but again, the goal is for you to use them as they are created, since there has been a lot of testing done, because these were originally used for action plans and follow-ups via email, and these have been shortened to be used for for text messages. Here's one more if you use HomeBot or Home Equity Report.